Okay, let's get right to it. If you've got a dog and you live in Sacramento County, getting them licensed is absolutely crucial. It's not just some annoying bureaucratic hoop you have to jump through. It's actually the most important thing you can do to protect your furry best friend. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to break down exactly how to navigate the Sacramento County dog licensing process so you can get it done quickly, easily, and right on the first try.
So picture this worst-case scenario. The backyard gate gets left open, or your dog somehow slips their collar on a walk, and suddenly they're lost. What's the absolute fastest way to get them back to your living room? It's that simple little piece of metal on their collar. A dog license instantly links your pet directly back to your contact info and their rabies vaccination records. It lets animal control officers and shelter workers identify them right away. But, beyond just the massive emotional relief of getting your pet back, there's a very practical, immediate reason you need to pay attention to this right now.
$300. Yeah, that is the extremely steep fine for failing to license a pet in the city of Sacramento. Local authorities have really cracked down on compliance lately, and missing a simple tag can turn into a massive headache and a seriously draining expense for you.
But licensing really isn't just a tax, okay? It's a literal safety net. When your dog is licensed, animal control officers will actually try to return them directly to your home before they ever even take them to the shelter, which, by the way, saves you a ton in impound fees. If your dog does end up at the shelter, that license guarantees them a minimum 10 business day hold. Plus, if your pet is ever found injured on the street, the revenue from licensing guarantees they'll be transported to a vet for emergency medical care. That's huge.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. First, why license your pet? Then, eligibility and required documents. Next, how to apply. After that, fees, discounts, and payments. Then we'll cover renewals and troubleshooting FAQs. And finally, the bigger community impact.
Section 1. Why license your pet? We've touched on the benefits, but let's look at the reality of pet ownership and local ordinances. By law, virtually every single jurisdiction in Sacramento County requires your dog to be licensed by the time they hit 4 months old.
Honestly, sometimes the best advice comes straight from your neighbors. Like this local Reddit user pointed out, the annual fee itself is really cheap, especially when you compare it to the alternative. If a county animal control officer actually issues you a citation for an unlicensed pet, you only have 7 days to clear that violation at the Bradshaw Animal Shelter. And if you don't, you get hit with immediate clearing fees and late penalties. It is just so much better to be proactive here.
Section 2. Eligibility and required documents. Okay, so you're ready to get the license. What exactly do you need to qualify, and what paperwork should you have ready to go?
The really crucial thing to remember here is that while the county has broad rules, you absolutely have to watch out for hyper-local requirements. Universally, across the whole county, you have to have a valid rabies vaccination certificate from a licensed vet. That is non-negotiable. Now, if you want that heavily discounted rate, you'll also need proof of surgical sterilization, so a spay or neuter certificate. And here's a big one. If you live in the city of Elk Grove, a microchip is a mandatory prerequisite. If your pet isn't chipped in Elk Grove, you either have to go get it done or you're stuck paying an annual $50 exemption fee.
Section 3. How to apply. The whole process has been modernized a ton over the last few years, which makes it incredibly accessible for everyone. It's basically just a simple 3-step journey. Step 1. Gather up that rabies certificate and your proof of spay or neuter. Make sure all the info on your vet records, especially your home address, is totally up to date. Step 2. Pick how you want to apply. Online is definitely the fastest, but mail and in-person work perfectly fine too. And Step 3. Just submit your docs and pay the fee. Easy, right? Let's look at those application pathways a bit closer. A lot of cities, like Sacramento, Elk Grove, and Folsom, have actually outsourced this to third-party online portals now, like DocuPet or PetData. This is brilliant, honestly, because it takes a lot of administrative work off the local shelter staff so they can actually focus on taking care of the animals. But if you prefer, you can still download a PDF and mail it in, drop by the Bradshaw Animal Shelter or the Sacramento SPCA in person, or even get it done right at participating vet offices during your routine vaccination visits. The system is just so beautifully digitized now. Get this, modern license tags actually use scannable QR codes. Platforms like DocuPet will link that physical tag to a free online profile for your dog. So if someone finds your dog wandering around, they don't even have to wait for animal control to open for the day. They literally just scan the tag with their smartphone and it connects them with you instantly through an integrated lost pet hotline service.
Section 4. Fees, discounts, and payments. This is the part where you can save a significant amount of money while also doing the right thing for the local pet population.
Local governments offer a massive financial incentive to get your pets spayed or neutered. Just look at the city of Sacramento. A 1-year license for an altered pet is $50. But if they're unaltered, that jumps all the way up to $125. Down in Citrus Heights, it's $16 altered versus $35. In unincorporated areas, it's $20 versus $80. Across the board, sterilizing your pet literally slashes that licensing price.
Okay, time for some actionable pro tips. If you are 62 or older, pretty much every jurisdiction offers a really steep senior citizen discount, as long as your pet is altered. In Sacramento City, for example, that senior rate drops to just $20 a year. Now, here's a major warning for you. If you decide to apply by mail, never ever send your original documents. Mail in copies because your original paperwork will not be sent back to you. And keep in mind, late applications will trigger immediate penalties, which are usually around $25.
Section 5. Renewals and Troubleshooting FAQs. When renewal time rolls around, most jurisdictions are going to mail or email you a notice about 30 days before the license expires. Whatever you do, don't ignore it, because missing that deadline is what triggers those late fees we just talked about. But, administrative systems always have a few hiccups, so let's troubleshoot some common issues you might run into. Let's say you're using one of the online portals like DocuPet, and the system totally rejects your address. First off, don't panic. Just double-check your spelling and make sure you're using standard abbreviations for your street type, like typing ST instead of spelling out street. If it's still rejecting it, there's a really good chance you live right on the border of a jurisdiction. Just give your local shelter a quick call, like the Front Street Animal Shelter, and they can verify exactly which municipality is supposed to process your address.
What if you're racing to beat a late fee deadline, but you just don't have valid rabies proof from the vet yet? Well, valid proof is absolutely mandatory to get the full official license, but some jurisdictions totally understand that you might be waiting on vet records to come through. In places using those third-party systems, they might actually issue you a 30-day temporary license. That gives you a nice 1-month grace period to get your vet records sorted out without getting slapped with a citation.
Section 6. The bigger community impact. We spent a lot of time talking about what a license does for you and your dog. But what does that fee you pay actually do for your community?
I absolutely love this story. A couple of really dedicated animal control officers over in Rancho Cordova realized they were impounding animals that already had loving homes simply because the owners couldn't afford certain resources. So they went out, secured a grant from UC Davis, and used that funding to create the Animal Services Assistance Program, or ASAP. Today, this program actively helps residents pay for their pets' vet visits, they'll even repair broken fences so dogs stop escaping, and they provide behavioral training. Your licensing compliance is what actively funds compassionate interventions like this that keep families and their pets together.
So if you take nothing else away from this explainer, remember this. A dog license is not just some arbitrary county fee. It is your pet's fastest ticket home, it's guaranteed peace of mind, it's a shield against some seriously hefty fines, and it's a direct contribution to the welfare of animals all across Sacramento County. If your dog is over 4 months old and doesn't have a license right now, you need to take action today. Go gather those documents and get online.
Just a quick disclaimer before we wrap up. The policies, fees, and procedures we covered today are accurate as of August 10th, 2026. Municipal codes and those third-party vendor platforms can change, so always be sure to double-check the latest details directly with Sacramento County Animal Care or your specific city's authorities. With all these incredible resources available to you and those hefty fines looming if you ignore them, the only question left is, what are you waiting for to guarantee your best friend's safe return?